All right, this just dropped. And yeah, it's huge. OpenAI has officially launched what might be its boldest move yet in the entire agentic AI space. It's called ChatGPT Agent. And no, it's not just a smarter chatbot. This thing acts. It doesn't just respond. It actually performs tasks for you. We're talking full-on execution. It uses its own virtual computer to get work done. This isn't summarize this article or write a quick poem. No, this goes way beyond that. We're talking full task automation, web interaction, API integration, editing spreadsheets, even building editable slideshows. And here's the wild part. It does all of this inside its own virtual machine, a fully separate computer environment, spun up just for you, independent of your device. So let's break it down. ChatGPT Agent is essentially the next evolution of OpenAI's previous tools. Remember Operator? That early agent could browse the web, click links, scroll, and type into fields. Then came Deep Research, a more behind-the-scenes analyst. It sifted through dozens of sites, pulled insights, and created near-human summaries. Now, OpenAI has taken the best of both worlds, blended them with ChatGPT's signature conversation interface, and powered it up with serious tools, like a full terminal, API connectors to apps like Gmail and GitHub, and text plus visual browsers. That's the new cocktail. And it's powerful. Now, what can it do, really? This isn't one of those maybe it works AI demos. The ChatGPT Agent is launching now for Pro, Plus, and Team users. If you're on any of those plans, you'll see Agent Mode inside the ChatGPT Tools dropdown. Once you turn it on, you prompt it like normal, but what happens next is nothing like before. Say something like, find 3 competitors to my product, analyze their pricing, and make a slide deck comparing them. Boom. It browses the web, uses its tools, grabs the data, and builds an actual editable slideshow. We're talking PowerPoint native, vector shapes, real graphs, actual text. Not some janky copy-paste job from Google Docs. Or let's say you're planning dinner. Plan and buy ingredients to make Japanese breakfast for 4. It'll find the recipe, build your shopping list, visit grocery sites, add the items, and then pause for your login to complete the purchase. Always with your confirmation. It's interactive, collaborative. You can pause it, tweak it, or cancel midway. If it gets stuck, just ask for a progress update. Now, if you've been hearing all this AI hype and thinking, cool, but what can I actually do with this? You're not the only one. That's why we created the AI Income Blueprint. It reveals 7 simple ways normal people are using AI to build side income streams. No tech skills needed. You can automate almost everything. The guide is packed with real, proven methods, using tools we talk about right here on this channel. Grab it free, links in the description. And if you're using the ChatGPT app on your phone, you'll get a push notification the second your task is done. Yeah, it's that smooth. But let's ask the big question. How well does it actually perform? Well, here's where it gets really interesting. On what's known as humanity's final exam, one of the toughest multi-subject benchmarks ever built, thousands of expert-level questions across 100-plus domains, ChatGPT Agent scored 41.6% on its first try. Pass at 1 rate. That's almost double what OpenAI's previous models, like 0, 3, or 4 Mini, could manage. And when they allowed it to run 8 parallel attempts and pick the most confident answer, it hit 44.4%. Now take frontier math, arguably the hardest math test on Earth, full of novel, unpublished problems, the kind that stump real experts for days. With tool use turned on, like access to a terminal to run code, ChatGPT Agent hit 27.4%. Yeah, this isn't just smart, it's capable. And it's only just getting started. That might not sound like a massive leap, unless you're familiar with benchmark data. So here's the context. OpenAI's previous top performer, 04 Mini, scored just 6.3% on the same test. This new model, over 4 times that performance. But it doesn't stop at academic benchmarks. They pushed it into real-world business tasks too. Things like building financial projections, designing amortization schedules, and running competitive research on urgent care clinics. And no, these weren't just AI-generated test prompts. Industry experts built the benchmarks. Then, top human professionals completed the same tasks. So OpenAI could directly compare the results. The outcome? ChatGPT Agent matched or beat human performance on about half the tasks. That's work at the level of investment banking analysts. Things like creating leverage buyout models for Fortune 500 companies with proper formatting, references, and multi-tab spreadsheets. Yeah, it does that too. Speaking of spreadsheets, they tested it on something called Spreadsheet Bench. It's a 912-question benchmark covering real-world spreadsheet tasks, from editing to analysis, all run in LibreOffice on macOS. The agent scored 35.27% overall, but when it was allowed to directly edit .xls files, that number jumped to 45.54%. For comparison, Copilot in Excel scores just around 20%. Now, humans still lead the pack, with an average of 71.33%. But ChatGPT Agent? It's officially more than halfway there, even on more complex tasks, like DS Bench, which focuses on data science workflows, such as modeling and analysis. ChatGPT Agent actually outperformed the human baseline, and that's big. Why? Because it proves this isn't just a flashy front end. The actual outputs, whether the slide deck, spreadsheet, or Python code, can genuinely rival the work of skilled professionals. Now let's talk about web browsing. Earlier this year, OpenAI dropped a benchmark called BrowseComp, which tests how well an agent can search the internet to find very specific, hard-to-locate info. ChatGPT Agent didn't just perform well, it crushed it. It beat the Deep Research Agent by over 17 percentage points, setting a new record at 68.9%. Then they tested it on Web Arena, a simulation built to mimic real-world web task completion. Once again, it outperformed the operator-powered 03 model. So, yeah, it's not just good at finding information. It's actually capable of doing something useful with that info, right there in the browser. So what's happening under the hood? The agent doesn't rely on a single tool. It can switch environments on the fly. There's a visual browser, which mimics how a human browses, and a text-based browser, which is faster and better at summarizing or filtering large text blocks. It also has access to a terminal, meaning it can run commands, execute scripts, and even download or manipulate files. All of this takes place on its own virtual machine, not your device. So it keeps persistent context across a session. It can open a web page, extract a file, run a script, then send the output back to the browser without losing track of anything. And here's where it gets even more integrated. ChatGPT Agent now connects to your apps using what OpenAI calls connectors. These are secure API bridges to tools like Gmail, Google Calendar, GitHub, and more. Once you log in and authenticate, the agent can do things like summarize your inbox, find open time slots in your calendar, analyze your GitHub repo for recent commits. Now, yes, for security, you'll still need to manually take over the browser and log in. But after that, the agent can move freely across services and workflows. Of course, when a model becomes this powerful and can act in the real world, safety becomes a top priority. That's why OpenAI has classified this agent as having high biological and chemical capability risk under their preparedness framework. Now, that doesn't mean it's been used to cause harm, but it does mean OpenAI is operating under the assumption that this model could potentially be misused, and they're acting proactively to prevent it. We're talking about serious risks here, like bioweapon research or chemical synthesis. If someone figures out how to exploit the system, that's why OpenAI built what they're calling their most comprehensive safety stack ever. Let's break it down. First, there's real-time monitoring. Every prompt you enter gets scanned by a special classifier. If it's biology-related, it gets flagged. Then there's a second safety layer, designed to check whether the response could potentially cause harm. Next, memory is completely disabled for the agent. Unlike standard ChatGPT, this version doesn't remember past conversations. Why? because memory could be used to leak sensitive data through clever prompt injection attacks. And speaking of prompt injection, yeah, that's a real threat in the agentic AI world. Here's the scenario. You let the agent browse websites. But what if someone hides malicious instructions inside invisible text on a page? If the agent reads those hidden commands, it might take actions you never authorized, like leaking data from one of your connectors, or even making a purchase. That's not science fiction. It's a real concern. So OpenAI trained the agent to detect and resist these kinds of traps. And before it does anything high stakes, like buying something or sending an email, it will always ask for your permission first. There's also something called watch mode. This kicks in for sensitive tasks that need your supervision in real time. So if it's managing your calendar or sending an email, you can see exactly what it's doing live and step in at any time. Privacy? That's covered too. There's a full suite of privacy controls, including one-click browsing data deletion, instant logouts, per website cookie settings, and secure login handling. When you take over the browser to log in manually, none of the data you type, like passwords, is ever seen or stored by the model. Your input stays completely private, even with all these safeguards in place. OpenAI admits there are still some limitations. For example, slide deck generation is still in beta. Sometimes formatting can be off, and right now you can't upload your own slides for the agent to edit, but they're working on it. They've already started training the next version to be more polished with better formatting support. Another key detail, ChatGPT Agent is rolling out gradually. Pro users should already have full access with 400 messages per month. Plus and team users are next. You'll get 40 messages monthly unless you choose to buy more credits. Enterprise and education users are in line after that, but rollout for them will take a few more weeks. And if you're in the European Economic Area or Switzerland, you'll have to wait a bit longer. Access there isn't available yet. Now here's something that really matters for web developers, publishers, and SEOs. This whole shift toward AI-first interaction is changing how websites need to be built. Structured content is now critical. Proper use of headings, clearly labeled forms, consistent product listings, well-organized tables, and clearly marked prices and dates. The more structured your content is, the better these AI agents can understand it, interact with it, and perform useful actions on your site. Most people still think AI is some future thing, but regular folks, they're already using it right now to build income streams quietly on the side. If you want to see how they're doing it with zero tech skills and without quitting their job, download the AI Income Blueprint. It's completely free for now. Links in the description, but it might not stay free forever. So if you run an e-commerce store or manage a content-heavy website, remember this. You're no longer just optimizing for human users. You're optimizing for AI agents, too. That's everything for now. ChatGPT Agent is here. It's real, and it's going to change how we get things done online. Whether it's planning trips, managing meetings, analyzing your competition, or editing complex spreadsheets, this thing can handle it all, start to finish. You just tell it what you want, and it gets to work. That's it for today. Catch you in the next one.